Welcome everyone to episode 3 of the Retake, where we cover everything that's happening in the Valorant Sunday Showdown. I am your host, Choiceplays, joined by DillyG. How you doing, Dilly?
I'm very well. Good to see everybody. Choice, what are we getting into today?
We got a lot of stuff lined up for today's episode. We're obviously going to go over last week's Valorant Sunday Showdown, the number 19, and we have an interview with our HyperX MVP winner, Jmoh, that you don't want to miss. We have some insight on this week's teams and some very interesting and meta-shifting patch notes to go over.
Yeah, first things first, we're going to do a quick overview of last week's top 8, looking over at week 19. Starting off at the top of the bracket, we had Fwessy Fwaggers making their second top 8 appearance in a row, making it to semifinals for the second time in a row. A little bit below them, we had Overtime taking out VSS veterans SDK as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Overtime is a brand new organization jumping into the Valorant Pro scene, which is really exciting because they have some awesome backers like Kevin Durant and
David Stern, I believe,
yes,
and Carmelo Anthony as well.
Yeah, big names there. So on the other side of the bracket now, PDHM Gaming won out over Nameless PDHM with their first ever semifinals appearance here in the VSS. And lastly, Lemonade Stand looked dominant over DGen Flow State with a 13-2 win. That's gotta hurt a little bit, but you know what? They've got another week to try again, so that's it for the top 8, really.
Yeah, definitely good stuff for Lemonade Stand. Big win for them over DGen Flow State. Moving on to the semifinals, we saw Fwessy Fwaggers, unfortunately, once again thwarted in semifinals, not able to take that next step onto Grands. Overtime advancing to Grands in their first ever VSS entry. And then looking down on the bottom side of the bracket, one of the closest games we've ever had in the Valorant Sunday Showdown. Lemonade Stand up against PDHM Gaming in a 34-round marathon. Definitely go check out this VOD on YouTube. Link is right below us there. You don't want to miss this one. This was a firecracker of a game where neither team really able to get an edge till the very end. Lemonade Stand able to edge out the game, punch their ticket onto the grand finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was our first week ever in the Valorant Sunday Showdown using the win by 2 model. So they obviously took advantage
made the most of it.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on to grand finals, our big moment of the VSS. Overtime versus Lemonade Stand. Overtime started off with Rashura on Jet, Silence on Sova, Bearcoon on Cypher, Nitty, Omen, Runner PS, Phoenix. Now jumping on over to Lemonade Stand. I'm pretty sure it was a mirror matchup with Tetra on the Cypher, Root on the Phoenix, which he had been playing Killjoy throughout the top 32 bracket, so that was a very interesting shakeup there. And then Sean is going to play Sova, FGB on Omen, and Jamo on that Jet.
Yeah, Lemonade Stand started off game 1 of Grand Finals with a really commanding pistol round, led by Tetra, picking up a very sneaky double kill there. But Overtime did play really intelligently moving forward in the second round. They fell, though, right into FGB's trap, helped by Jmoh, who opened the door for him, feeding FGB's Omen a big quadra kill to start off the second round. Really, honestly, a shaky start there for Overtime.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really shaky when Lemonade Stand steamrolls their way to a 7-0 lead. Overtime showed flashes of brilliance in some individual kills and plays, but they struggled to complete a round. Overtime did eventually get themselves on the board off of a brilliantly executed flank on Lemonade Stand's push through the middle of the map. Lemonade Stand, on the other hand, had already secured their first half lead no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, it was shaky for Overtime, but to their credit, that 9th round there was the last round that Lemonade Stand would secure in the first half. In a really scrappy way, Overtime trudged their way to get some rounds on the board, bringing it back to 3-8, back from 0-7. And then in the last round of the half, the 12th round, really massive round for Rashura. Rashura went beast mode, picking up a massive ace on Lemonade Stand, expertly alternating between the knives and his op. Rashura just picked them apart on the A site, arguably the best play of the whole tournament. So despite a really rough start, Overtime picked up what rounds they could and ended the first half 4-8 there.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out that Haven, which is the map they played on for Game 1,
Right.
I forgot to point that out earlier, is an attack-favored map because of the 3 sites, spreading defense really thin. Absolutely.
Yeah, really tough to rotate between those 3 sites. I mean, you're spread thin as it is already on 2 sites with only 5 people. 3 sites just exacerbating that problem. But having a 4-round lead going into the second half for Lemonade Stand, I'm sure they thought that was nice. But getting aced at any point in the match is going to be a blow mentally.
Oh, yeah.
Not only that, Lemonade Stand gave away a bit of momentum over to overtime in the form of 4 rounds uncontested, or excuse me, 3 rounds uncontested, and Rashura's ace as well. So it was looking a bit dicey there for Lemonade Stand despite the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. But despite all of this, Lemonade Stand make a big statement, achieving what Overtime was unable to. Pistol round win on defending side, making it 9-4. And then in the 14th round, Jmoh ensured that there wasn't only one Jet getting a big multi-kill in this game, picking up a 4K for himself.
Massive
with
stuff.
some clever positioning on the A side.
Yeah, really big stuff from Jmoh there, really explosive. And off the back of that, Lemonade Stand soon found themselves on game point, up 12-5, looking poised to close game 1 out. But Overtime showed some real grit on the attacking side, not giving up, often saving their pushes until the last possible second, making it really difficult for Lemonade Stand to rotate and respond to what Overtime was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, at the beginning of this match, we kind of hyped up the Jet v Jet duel between Rashura and Jmoh. Jmoh was certainly outshining his counterpart with a mind-blowing 21-9 stat line. Rashura, though, stayed determined. You could see he was working his absolute hardest to find picks, and he managed to help his team chain together some rounds in the second half.
Yeah, Overtime started to play really cohesively. You know, players weren't going off for big explosive hero plays, big multi-kills, but they were winning rounds through really clutch 1v1, 1v2 plays, really consistent, steady gameplay from Overtime, and Silence really came alive on this in the second half of the match, finding some good entry frags as well as some really good defensive frags once the spike had gone down. So Overtime were able to put up 5 rounds in a row in the second half, bringing themselves all the way to 10-12 from being down 5-12. But all it took for Lemonade Stand was 1 round. They eventually found it, closing out game 1 13-10.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big comeback for Overtime to get 5 rounds in a row. That's really nice.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, so we're going to jump on over to game 2 in the finals, which was going to be on Bind. Lemonade Stand and Overtime stuck with the same exact roster there.
Same complete team comps.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lemonade Stand, despite what the incorrect scoreboard, some of you guys pointed that out in the chat, started game 2 in the same fashion they started game 1, and that's by winning the pistol round.
Yeah, Lemonade Stand started off really strongly once again, but Overtime, they got themselves in this game a lot quicker than it took them to get into game 1. They picked up that round there, the first full buy round, round 3, with a really well-timed play onto B. But in response, Jmoh was able to get himself a clean double kill in round 4, extending Lemonade Stand's lead to 2. Overtime, though, came right back at them with a big play from Silence, quickly tying the game up at 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lemonade Stand were at an economic disadvantage going into the 7th round, but they looked dangerous as Tetra got away with a cheeky double kill in A mid. Overtime, though, played out the round, Rashura and Silence combining for a really strong attack. Overtime then took their lead of the their first lead of the series, 4-3.
Yeah, big credit to Overtime there, getting their first lead of the series, 4-3. However, as impressive as it was, that lead would not last long, thanks to a monstrous FGB 4K to ensure a safe defuse for Lemonade Stand, retying the game at 4 apiece. And then quickly after that, Lemonade Stand able to wrap up a flawless round, regaining the lead for Lemonade Stand there. And from that point on, really, Overtime didn't have much of a say in the match. only getting 2 more rounds in the game. Lemonade Stand in their first ever tournament as a 5-man roster, able to wrap up a seriously impressive VSS win, 13-6 on top of overtime. Jmoh taking top honors with the HyperX MVP of the match.
Yeah, congratulations, Jamo. That was some ridiculous jet opping, some ridiculous jet plays, but shout out to Overtime for their first VSS entry. It's a big deal to make it all the way to grand finals in the 64-team, tournament. We really hope to see them back again for another shot at the jackpot. And that's pretty much it for the grand finals. It was pretty fast, but some amazing plays from both of these teams. But we were actually able to catch up with Jamo and hear what he has to say of how he felt and how his team played in this grand finals. What's up, everybody? We are here with Jamo from Lemonade Stand, our HyperX MVP winner. How you doing, Jamo?
Yo, thank you. I'm doing good. Everything's been good. I'm just doing good. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Glad to see you, man. Welcome back. Definitely, real quickly, just to get into things, I wanted to ask you about you and Lemonade Stand. How'd you guys get that roster together?
Well, it's kind of crazy, actually, because I was thinking about joining a different roster from the beginning. But then I started talking with people, I started talking with Root, and we decided to make a roster with Lemonade Stand again. We used to bring the whole roster up and reamped it, and we just decided to just make it brand new, start all over again. And that's what we did, and we picked up these players, and we're really confident with that.
That's dope. It's obviously showing off that you guys are strong, getting all the way to the grand finals and winning it all in the Valorant Sunday Showdown number 19. And so how did you find yourself in that jet op role? Like, obviously, you were really strong with it, hitting 39 kills in that semifinals match. But how did you find yourself in that role?
Well, I have a history of opping. I mean, in CS, I opped in MDL. I'm known to be an opper mostly. I can rifle too, but just what I'm known for is opping. So coming to Valorant, I really wanted to have the same role as I did in CS. So I felt like that transition was really easy for me. But obviously, jet opping is more than just opping. You need to know the mechanics of it, such as like the knives and all that. And I've been really practicing that and starting to just come all together for me, and just getting more comfortable each time I play in tourneys with jet for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely been impressive to watch so far. I definitely want to ask about that semifinal match up against PDHM Gaming. That was a really big highlight for us on the stream, an epic 34-round marathon. I do want to ask for you guys though, have you guys as a roster had a decent amount of experience in overtime situations, or was that something you guys kind of had to adapt to on the fly there in that semifinal?
You know, it's actually crazy because that was our first time having to witness a game like that. That was our first tourney together, and as a 5, and that was just right off the bat hit us with that. Triple OT game or something like that.
Good experience to get out of the way early.
No, yeah, really good experience, and as a team, we really bonded well because it's good to go through those experiences, especially with a team like PDHM. They're a really good team. Been playing for a minute, so getting that win and having our composure to not give up, especially with the long game. It really shows what we are as a roster for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That was you kind of answered my next question. I was going to ask, what was the mentality? What were the comms like in that second overtime? When you got to the third overtime, what was happening in the comms there?
We kind of laughed it off, honestly. We were just like, yo, this is actually crazy. This is really happening to us right now. Because we literally felt like we should have won the game a long time ago. And then it just kept getting unlucky plays, one after another. And then there was one round where Sean had 2 big 1-digs on B and really just saved us from the tournament. And we really hyped about that because that really motivated us after we saw that happen. So we just used small little motivation plays to boost us through that game for sure.
Awesome. And then, yeah, moving on to grand finals after that really long semifinals, we're actually really interested to see you guys pick up Haven as the first map, because Haven, we feel like, has been kind of avoided here in the last few weeks by a lot of different teams. Is that something you guys picked specifically because other teams are avoiding it and you might have an advantage, or did it kind of just fit into your guys' play style a little bit better than everyone else?
It's actually crazy how you say that, because we felt like Haven was our best map, and it's weird because Haven's the type of map you need to practice a lot on, Right. It's a 3 bomb site map. You have to really practice your executes, your defaults. It's a map that you can't just pug it, I guess, Right. But that was our best map, which was kind of ironic, but we felt really confident on that in a sense, and yeah, we hit our shots, we did our defaults correctly, and paid off.
Worked out well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And before we wrap up this awesome interview with you, Jmoh, I just wanted to bring up a quick tweet that you tweeted the other day. I saw that you guys are fully signed. Is there anything that you can tell us about that, or is that coming up soon?
Yeah, coming up soon, but definitely big news, and we want to, like I said, this is a new roster, but we feel like big things are ahead of us in the future, and we want to hopefully one day prove it to everybody, for sure.
Awesome. Well, yeah, definitely looking forward to see what's in store for the future for you guys. Jmoh,
Thank you.
Big thank you for coming onto the Retake and talking with us. Best of luck for the next endeavor for you guys.
No, thank you guys for having me on this show. It was great. Y'all are amazing, and thank y'all so much.
Yeah, dude, thank you. And thank you again, Jmoh, for giving us your time. That was really awesome to be able to talk to you and get some insight on what the team was feeling. And congratulations on that signing, my friend. That's pretty exciting stuff. So moving on, we're actually going to be talking about some of the teams that we have our sights on for this week, the Valorant Sunday Showdown, week number 20. I sent out a tweet earlier with a bunch of teams to watch this week. But what's the first team on that list?
Yeah, looking ahead to week 20, we're definitely looking at the reigning champions currently, Lemonade Stand, already re-entered here for week 20,
awesome.
Looking to get that. This would be the first ever back-to-back Valorant Sunday Showdown wins if they could do it. They could be the second team ever to get 2 Valorant Sunday Showdown victories, so definitely looking for that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, looking further, Flow State is back this week, and I have a feeling that they have got Lemonade Stand's number this week. They're really going to go, especially after that 13-2 loss to them. They're coming back for revenge, I believe it.
Yeah, they're going to be control effing, looking where they're at in the bracket, trying to search Lemonade Stand. All right, there, I'm sure. But moving down the list, we actually have Mamba Mode Gaming coming hot off of a win in another tournament previously this week, looking to add another victory to their already impressive trophy case.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last team we're going to look at and mention here is Phoenix 1GG. We've seen them a lot in the Valorant Sunday Showdown, but I'm pretty sure that this is a refreshed roster, and they're looking to show off who they got and what they got in their back pockets there.
Yeah, definitely. So looking forward to week 20, we'll actually be on a completely different patch from week 19 as well. We have some really big changes coming in for a lot of different ages. Get us started. What's the first big change we'll be looking at for week 20?
So our first agent we're looking at is Sage, and she's pretty much a meme on Twitter now. Everyone knows that she's pretty much dead in the water now. So her heal has been nerfed from 100 HP down to 60. So, I mean, not the best. Her self-heal actually now heals 60 over 10 seconds now. So they kind of nerfed that a lot. And the slow orb is reduced sized by 30%. And the barrier orb, although cheaper, spawns immediately with half the health, and it takes 3 seconds to ramp up to get the full 800 HP for that barrier.
Yeah, looking around the high-tier meta right now for Valorant, watching other competitions, looking at things like the Pop Flash tournament, it looked like Sage was already on her way out of the meta. She was already heading towards extinction. This is the meteor, I think, that makes Sage extinct for now. So a really tough place for her in the meta. Moving down the list, we also have Viper getting some more help to ease her back into the meta. We talked about Viper early on when she got the initial round of buffs, I believe a few weeks ago with the last patch. Nothing doing, though, for Viper. We haven't seen Viper picked up in the VSS despite those buffs, so this is another round of buff. We'll see if teams work her into their strategies now with these new changes.
Yeah, absolutely. So Toxic Screen is usable before the round now, and it goes up a little bit faster. Decay doesn't affect allies, which is really nice. That should have happened a long time ago. And Viper's Pit is now shown on the minimap, just kind of like Killjoy's ultimate.
Yeah, very similar, I think, in function there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're going to see Viper maybe on maps like Haven with the three bomb sites. She can fake a push with that pre-round wall, and they can hit a totally another site, and I think that'll be pretty exciting.
It's possible, but I think it might be too early this week for teams to really work her seriously into their team comps, especially as we move on towards top 32. Teams may want to stick to what they're more comfortable with. Like I said, no teams opting for Viper previously, so it's going to be like picking up an entirely new agent for these teams. So definitely interested to see how that pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. And now to the next agent, Killjoy. The Nanoswarm grenade has been nerfed a little bit. There's like a brief wind-up before the actual damage starts, and the damage itself has been nerfed from 60 DPS down to 40. So it probably it's going to feel a little bit better for the opposing team. And the visual effects of the Molly, or whatever, the Nanoswarm, is changed a little bit to make it easier to spot.
Yeah, easier to shoot it out before it gets popped there.
Yeah, exactly. And then the turret, there's just a little bit of a change there. It's no longer revealed by Sova's arrow, and it more effectively shoots the last known enemy position.
Yeah, so just helping the turret along there. I think the turret was a little slow to action previously, so just helping that along. But now another agent receiving really big changes is Breach. Breach was definitely more of a niche pick prior to these changes, but I think these changes are going to move him much further into the spotlight. Flashpoint now has 3 charges, and it behaves like all other flashes, complete blindness there, and the wind-up time has been reduced from 0.6 seconds to 0.5 seconds, giving it that quicker snap out of the gate. Rolling Thunder, his ultimate, now has reduced delays before each of its triggers, before each of the small blast earthquakes there, and the concussion from that now de-scopes players and prevents them from re-scoping. So this is a really hard counter to the Jet Op meta that we've been seeing developing. A really good pick, I think, to counter the Jet Op is going to be seeing teams pick up this Breach in response.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to see it in almost every comp now on Ascent.
Wow, you think so? That's a big call.
I think so.
Okay.
We're moving into Flash meta here. You can basically get up
You can at him later about this if he's wrong.
Absolutely. At
There's
me on
his
Twitter.
Yeah,
at
his Twitter.
Choiceplays right down there. You can essentially have 7 flashes now. You've got his 3 flashes, Phoenix's 2, and then Omen. It's not really a flash, but the blind.
The blind, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of flash utility. We're going to see blind. We're going to be blind for a long time. And
it's going to be tough for observing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No one can see anything.
Oh crap. So moving on to Sova, he just got a quick change. His cape is actually glued to the hitbox, so it doesn't like fly out in the corners when you're trying to jiggle peek.
What did the costume designer from The Incredibles say?
No
capes.
Do you remember Thunderhead?
No capes.
And then moving on down to gun changes, Shotgun's got just a general nerf to some of their hitboxes and pulling out and all of that other stuff. You know, they're just generally nerfed.
Yeah, nerfed the shotguns there. We were seeing the shotguns being a little too good of an alternative there in the save rounds and light buy rounds.
And jet rounds.
Yeah, any jet rounds.
Yeah.
So definitely understandable there. The last gun getting some changes here in week 20 is actually the Vandal, having its firing rate slightly increased, as well as its damage slightly increased as well. The Vandal's in an awkward spot right now. It can't have the one-tap accuracy that people may want from it because it can't compete with the Guardian. If you give the Vandal one-tap accuracy, like, you know, a perfect one-tap accuracy, the Guardian immediately becomes irrelevant, you know, more so than it already is.
Right.
But in the same time, the Vandal costing the same as the Phantom being objectively the best gun in the game right now, definitely some steps needed to be taken to even that playing field up. So we'll see how the Phantom v Vandal matchup works out this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to see a lot of Vandals popping out there because of these changes. But that's going to be it for us in this episode 3 of The Retake. We have had such a fantastic time with you guys and with Jmoh for the interview and everything. It's been so good. So don't forget to follow us on our YouTube. It's going to be in the link down below. Follow our Twitter at Vanguard Champs and here on twitch.tv/Vanguard Championship. I have been Choiceplays.
I'm DillyG.
And we'll see you next week for The Retake.